Okay, so the Sonic discourse of this month is Sonic talking. God, what are we doing? Nah, kid. On a real note, I get it. I too have had issues with not just Sonic, but how many of the cast has been written lately, and lately as in the past decade. In recent times, while there have been well-meaning attempts to get things back on track in regards to the writing of the characters, I can't help but feel we're still a ways off from the ideal, and there is no greater example of this sentiment to be found than with the main man himself, Sonic the Hedgehog. Bear in mind that when I bring up my issues with the writing of the characters, I mean specifically in the games. I don't read the comics, I don't care to. The only reason I'm acknowledging them on this channel is because they're supposedly canon to the games now. More on that in a bit. So, why are we Sonic fans whining with this kind of thing anyway? Can we really not be happy with anything? Shut the fuck up with that sentiment, by the way. You sound like a bitch. We Sonic fans have been through some shit. Throughout the entirety of the 2010s, we've watched our beloved cast of colorful animals become shells of their former selves. These are characters with traits that we've grown to love over time throughout the entries of the Sonic series, be they mainline or spin-offs, with Sonic of course being at the forefront of it all. Sonic is a free spirit in so many ways we wish we were, free of doubts, free of regrets, free to go and do as he pleases whenever he pleases to. This makes him an inspiration, not just for us the audience, but also the characters he meets in this series throughout his adventures. He inspires others to change. That's how he's come to befriend so many who once were antagonistic towards him. Sonic is the embodiment of the wind, ever present in the moment, moving in accordance with his own nature. Sonic doesn't answer to anyone but himself. He doesn't change, but nor does he stagnate. You wanna know what else Sonic doesn't do? Bitch!
I'm supposed to be the fastest, but I was too slow to save my buddy.
Catch the enemy up on basic morals.
Impossible. I cannot be defeated.
Wrong, loser! The things that can't be defeated are heart, soul, and the bonds of friendship. Three things you and your counterfeit cronies lack.
Bitch!
They're gonna turn Tails into a robot! That's horrible!
Man, shut your bitch ass.
These are bastardizations of Sonic's character that we've had to sit through, all while being led to believe this is supposed to be the same Sonic we've known and loved all this time. And with the promise of a new writer heading the dialogue and characterization of the cast, we figured this would be a return to form, going back to how things were between the Adventure and 4Kids era, or at least I did when it came to Sonic and his characterization. We're not getting that, though. Yeah, now, change isn't inherently bad, there is good change, this just isn't that, and is worse than what came before. Not worse than what came before as in worse than the meta era, but still worse than what came before the meta era, you follow? The one heading the dialogue and characterization started with Sonic for Tears is IDW comic writer Ian Flynn, and this presents issues. Now, I didn't, and I guess I still don't, have my doubts that Ian is capable of writing a good Sonic game, good Sonic game Sonic. Good game Sonic is what I mean. As in, a Sonic that remains true to the traits and characterization he exhibited prior to the decimation that is the meta era. But he's not doing that. It more so feels like he's taking the Sonic he's been writing in the comics and just inserting him into the games, which is a problem due to the following reason. That's not the same Sonic. Comic Sonic behaves and has behaved in ways that game Sonic does not. Comic Sonic is an interpretation of the character separate from his in-game counterpart, but now we're seeing this weird homogenized version of game and comic Sonic coming together, and
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell.
I don't like it. We're also supposed to believe that the comics are canon to the games now, which brings us to this, and this, and this. IDW Sonic, Comic Sonic, whatever you want to call him, is held to a new standard now that we are led to believe that the comics are canon to the games, and that this is the same Sonic from those games too. Because of this, whenever Sonic does something remotely uncharacteristic of himself, people are going to call it out, even when it really isn't warranted. The most recent case of this discourse is this panel here. Now, before you start virtually screaming at me, no, I am not among those who believe Sonic wouldn't say that. I personally think that this is fairly in character for Sonic, in fact. After all, he's known to wisecrack, and why wouldn't he do that when walking into an establishment to catch up with friends? Though I don't believe the fact that he's wisecracking is where people are taking issue with this, but as is common with these discourses, it's how it's delivered. People believe it's out of character for him to be using terms such as gumshoes and flat-footing, and guess what? Ian knows that! Why else do you think he outwardly adds the or whatever you call it at the end there? These aren't terms Sonic regularly uses, and both Ian and Sonic in-universe know that. He's just giving an attempt at a detective-related wisecrack, something I, at least, can see Sonic doing. This panel is a non-issue, and what frustrates me is that when people make a hoopla out of the non-issue instances like this, it takes away from the actual instances where he is written uncharacteristically. Like these panels. These are the enemy, not this. Cause you wanna know what Sonic doesn't do? Bitch! And this, hell, this is worse than catching the enemy up on basic morals. I can't believe it's even past the drafts. Look, I'ma be real. From an outside window looking in, I get why some people would think us Sonic fans arguing over the behavior of a fictional Hedgehog fucking stupid as all shit. But I'ma be real, I don't think nearly as many people would give a damn if the comics weren't now marketed as canon to the games. The same goes for Sonic Prime, where many of the complaints toward the show are in regards to Sonic's characterization. Again, because we were also led to believe that that too is canon to the games. SEGA and Sonic Team, whoever the fuck is doing this, is shooting themselves in the foot by trying to make everything canon under one umbrella. You can't have your cake and eat it too in this case. You can't say that things like the comics and Prime are canon to the games, and even go as far as listing which games the events potentially take place between, while writing completely foreign interpretations and iterations of these characters. As far as I'm aware, nobody's even asking for all of Sonic to fall under one continuity anyway, so what are we even doing? Who is this even for? I don't get it. But you know what? Whatever, man. I'm getting tired. My yap time is over. Y'all heard me out, and now it's time I hear you out. Head to the comments and tell me where you guys stand on the topic. But yeah, that's the vid. I'll see you in the next one. Sonic wouldn't say that. Shut the fuck. Whatever the fuck this is.